Welcome to Don't Fear the Weight podcast with your host Vicky Masita, bringing together science and personal experience.
Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of the exclusive Titan Tidbits on Here Don't Fear the Weight. Now, as you can see, I am sporting my new and exclusive Titan vest. Oh yeah. And as you can see there, Luke is posing his double bicep pose with a big, huge backdrop of the exclusive Titan, which I'm very excited about. It is cool, right?
Very
Luke,
nice.
how are you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. On this nice, hot, sunny day, it is good. You're not sporting your vest because you're not quite pumped up enough yet,
I'm
right?
not stacked enough to be able to wear it properly just yet. So give me another month.
Nearly there.
And I'll be ready.
That's it. So, quick
move
update then.
out.
Tell us how your week's gone. How's everything gone? I know that you've been suffering a little bit with some kind of summery, coldy, hay fever.
I just had wussyitis for a few days, to be honest.
All right. Well, this is why it honestly works. It's wussyitis.
Yeah.
Not some kind of freaking man flu.
Yeah. That's something else as well, but I'm too afraid to say it. So I got told off for my language last time, so I'm going to be a good boy today.
Really?
Yeah.
Telling off that language? We can swear on this one. This is our podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to be very professional this afternoon, Vicky, so watch out.
Very professional. Jesus Christ. I best make sure that I have a chair because that's ridiculous.
True.
Anyway, okay, so quick update on myself. I'm doing awesome. My food is good. My weight is good. I've had a couple of meals out. I had a burger with you. I had a Chinese with my mother-in-law for her birthday, and that was all cool. Weight is still stable, which is fabulous, and weight on the bar is constantly going up and up. And I got a pretty awesome squat as well.
No! All because of me.
My squat was. Did you see my little happy dance? And I was like,
yeah. That wasn't anything to do with me, but yeah, that was all you. That one.
Well, it was programmed, and I think, to be perfectly honest, right, we're going to talk about this today, aren't we? About programming.
My favourite subject, yeah.
Yeah, I personally feel that if something is written down, it has to be achieved. Yeah. And that's how I predominantly work mentally. If somebody tells me that I need to get a 100-kilo squat, then that is what I'm going to do. Now, the thing is that you just basically said, do your 1 rep max for that day. Now, that 1 rep max for that day, I've squatted over 100 before, but they were bodybuilder squats. They were like half squats. They were worse than box squat. So to actually get a full depth 100 kilo where nothing gave way, perfect form, and I was really fucking chuffed with it, and nobody kneed me in the ass, so
that was helpful that you didn't get attacked halfway.
That's true, right? That was scary.
You should edit that video in just so people can see it, because that's
I should.
No offense to Guy, because at least he was there, but that was one of the worst spottings I've ever seen.
Quite bad, isn't it?
Yeah, but he was there in spirit.
Exactly, he was there in spirit, and I did kind of tell him off. And the guy was my husband as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
He's gonna love me when I see him when I come up in a couple of weeks, isn't he?
I know, right? It's fine. It's all good. He knew that he was bad at it. So,
oh, that was bloody bad.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all good. So, anywho,
that's the main thing.
Exactly right. So I didn't hurt myself. I did fall forward and shove the bar back. And that is one of the biggest tips that I can give to anybody who is going to fail on something. If you think that you're going to make a big loud crash by dumping the bar, who gives a shit? Just dump the bar. Yeah. Stop trying to really hurt yourself or fall down with it or anything like that. Because falling straight down with a bar on your back, you are going to crumple. You are going to get whiplash. You are going to hurt yourself and set yourself out of the gym for another 4 weeks. Dump the bar behind you. Make a big prolonging crash. Be a beast in the gym. Those arseholes who kind of do those bicep curls and then slam the weights down, they do it all the time. So, if they do it, you can do it.
Yeah, especially when you're going for a PB.
Exactly, right?
Oh, good.
So, talking about training effing hard, I'm not going to overly swear either because You're not. Talking about training effing hard, let us talk about something that was brought up to you earlier on this week in terms of CNS. So go ahead, you start off.
Well, I think it's probably best to start off. I mean, people watching this podcast, how many can actually put their hands up and say, I train hard all the time? Okay, good. I could probably put my hand up 3/4 of the way.
Yeah. And
that's not to say that you shouldn't be going to the gym thinking, I'm going to bust a bollock here. Because at the end of the day, it's no point going 100% hard, 100% all the time, as long as you have a goal set and you're trying to reach that goal reasonably scientifically. If you've got one of our programs, very nice, Vicky, like that. But I think sometimes science can make you soft when it comes to actually training hard, because there's a lot of information out there at the moment that you shouldn't do all these sets during a workout. You shouldn't do this much volume. You should rest a certain amount of time between sets and between sessions. And you shouldn't do this much because you're going to burn yourself out. You shouldn't do that much because you're not going to get recovered enough. But what you have to think about sometimes is when these guys in the 70s, 80s, and let's be honest, the 90s as well, which a lot of people would probably regard as one of the best bodybuilding eras of all time, they weren't overly privy to all this scientific knowledge that's out there at the moment. They didn't have Google. They didn't have
Instagram.
People doing these studies. But what they did have was this unbelievable drive and work ethic to work as hard as they could in the gym for as long as they could in the gym before they almost passed out.
Yeah.
And I think some of that sort of work ethic and just literally balls to the wall, like I said, it doesn't always have to be that way, as long as a lot of it is. And I think some of that is lost. So many people nowadays want to try and get maximum results with minimal effort. And you see it a lot when people are training their body parts. They might moan that their legs are too small, or they might moan that they don't have a six-pack, but they got quite a good chest and they got reasonable arm development.
Yeah.
And you just have to say, well, how many times do you train your chest and arms? And how hard do you usually see people train their guns or their t-shirt muscles compared to their lower biceps, i.e. their quads and the hamstrings, etc., or the lower arms even. And so it's trying to get that mindset regarding, okay, if I want to do something really well, I'm going to have to try and build this up more and more rather than just try and always do the bare minimum. I mean, you probably say it all the time with your bodybuilding.
All the time. All the time. That was my cue. I was waiting for you to kind of go, you probably see it all the time with bodybuilding, and no, it's me.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's it. Switching over. But yeah, I do see it all the time with bodybuilding, because people, first of all, they do like the one body part bro split, okay? And even women do it because they follow their boyfriend's program, and they have a dedicated arms day. And it's like, girls, first of all, you don't need a dedicated arms day. And do you know what I see? One thing that really pisses me off, right? Yeah. Is that I was doing leg press and a leg extension. Okay, and after I do the leg extension, which I fucking hate, by the way, I thought, sorry, apologies.
That's a pound.
Swearing, and they're going to listen to me. You didn't tell me off for swearing, but so they are. But yeah, I really, really hate the leg extension. One, because the machine that we've got at the gym is, as in at my gym, is absolutely diabolically crap. The angles on it are crap. The levers on it are crap. So it's just a bad machine to use. But I just don't like that isolation on my quads, because my quads are weak in comparison to my hamstrings and my glutes. And I just don't like that isolation. But when I did it, what are you laughing for?
I just went, pussy.
Oh, right. So you're laughing?
Yeah, sure.
But when I was doing it, I was rolling out of the leg press and having to give myself a moment before I could stand up. Yeah. And then when I finally finished off on doing my leg extension, I walked, or tried to walk over to the door to get to basically to leave the gym, because it was the last thing that I did. And I crumpled. And this woman said, oh my God, are you okay? I was like, yeah, it's just leg day. But to me, that's what leg day was. That's what leg day is. You stumble out of the gym. if you can squat and you can walk away from the squat machine or the squat rack, sorry, and start singing a song from your favorite Disney movie, you are not working hard enough.
No.
It's simple as that, you know? Did you ever see Tom Platz? Tom Platz's legs were freaking incredible. But the guy used to sit there and do like 20 sets of 20 and then die and crumple on the floor. But that was his workout, you know? And when he didn't do his 20 sets of 20, he did 10 sets of 10 GVT type style. Yeah. So he only had like 60 seconds breather in between. Then went on and destroyed himself on a hack squat. And you know, and carried on. But the guy had legs like anything. And people are like, oh, I want Tom Platz legs. But then they do like, you know, 4 sets of 6 and carry on dancing and moving the minute that they rack the bar back up.
Yeah, but how often do you hear that? I want Arnold Schwarzenegger's arms, or I want, you know, the Tom Platz's legs. It's like you're talking about. And then they try and follow their programs that they read in some spurious bodybuilding magazines, and they might get halfway, or they might even do it once, and then they go, oh, that's too hard, I'll tailor it for myself. Which, if you tailor it properly, fine, because those guys, they're doing that now after 10, 20 years of training, and a lot of people try to emulate that without actually building a base first. Secondly, you'll never get Arnold Schwarzenegger's biceps or Tom Platz arms, because only Arnold Schwarzenegger can have those arms, and only Tom Platz can have those quads. So utilize what they do to help you develop the best that you can be, rather than anyone else. We sort of touched on that briefly in another podcast. But it's just, I think, trying to take out their work ethic mindset on having that goal of, I'm going to get that rep or that set or that weight, because it's going to lead me on to better legs, or winning that amateur show, or winning Mr. Olympia, or being the best powerlifter, etc. And I think so many people go in just going, right, I'm just going to do arm days. Well, why are you doing arms? I want to be bigger. But why does it want to be bigger? Because I want to.
Yeah.
We need to almost get down to what's internally, what are your factors? What are your main reasons to go there? I mean, it could be because this girl I really like loves big arms, so I want to get big arms. Fine, that's your focus, that's your goal, and it will give you more reason to train them harder.
Yeah.
It needs to be something, I think, we're actually going off topic, but this is actually quite interesting. It needs to be something more than just because I want to be big. That's it. Because at the end of the day, you can get big, and it doesn't necessarily have to be muscular big. I've been down that route. I was 22 stone. Yeah, I'm big, but F me, I was a fuck. Oh, I got that the wrong way around, didn't I? Brilliant. Give me the brain back. Give me the brain back. And it's just like you get to a point where, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things why people struggle sometimes with training, is their why isn't good enough. It isn't there in the first place. And I mean, for example, I came to you because obviously we had a chat when Carla did well at the powerlifting, and it's been in the back of my mind for a while. Obviously, becoming a dad just over a year ago, just that I was like 19, I was 18 and a half, 19 stone. I was just thinking, you know what? I've had back problems in the past, quite major ones. I can't be 120 odd kilos like this. So my wife was getting your plans and starting to do more sort of bodybuildy stuff that's not going to affect my joints, because I'm coming up to, I'm not that far off 40, even though I don't look it.
Nivea, darling. Nivea.
I was just like, well, my why? Sorry?
I use the same formula.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, there's another route down there we won't go down. So my why for seeing you and tailoring my training to lose weight and get fitter and better in shape was because I want to spend more quality time outside of my daughter for longer. I want to be fitter and healthier. And that why is making me go down the gym and train 5 days a week, because I can see the results. And I feel better.
Yeah.
And having that ultimate goal allows me to then hit my other goals of being in shape, getting a bit bigger here, losing a bit of weight there. But that's my ultimate goal, to play with my daughter. And that's a strong goal. And with these strong goals, it all comes back down to, you know, how much you want it. And if you want it big, the biggest thing that's going to help you achieve those goals is consistency, doing what you want to do. And I think a lot of people, you see them, especially when it gets to summer, I want to look good for the beach because I want to be attractive. So they'll bust the gut for like April, May, June, look all right, June, July, August, and then September to March. You know, you don't see them again for a while, or they just come in the gym, do a few bits and bobs, and they just stay the same. And how many people do you see just stay the same for 6 months, get a bit stronger or bigger for the beach because their why's better, and then they just go back down to their baseline, do tick over, and it's up and down, up and down. It's you can apply that to other people in other sports as well. They hit a competition, they do okay, they go, oh, okay, I did all right at that. I might try something else now. No! Do you know what I mean? You did that competition for a reason, because you also enjoyed it and you want to do well at it. No one does well at the starting point. Everybody was a beginner. And it's having that, what I want to be British champion, I want to be world champion. Why? Because, you know, I want my children to be proud of me. Well, that's a huge why. So let's start off and let's start really using that incentive to really do well at it. Rather than get distracted all the time. Sorry,
And, you know, I agree with you on the whole point about wanting to look good on holiday. I've never really accepted that as a why. When people come to me and they say, you know, I really want to get in shape because I'm going on holiday in August. And it's like, okay, well, that's nice, but why do you want to get in shape?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm going on holiday in August and I want to look good on the beach. No, that's not a why, because that is not going to be a sustainable plan. This is going to be a quick fix plan for you to be happy, get on the beach in August, binge like an almighty beast whilst you're on an all-inclusive holiday on the beach, because at the end of the day, you have reached that particular goal. It's not a sustainable change. So why is it that you want to get fit? Why is it that you want to change yourself aesthetically? Like, you've just talked to me about your why being your daughter. My why of getting into the gym and getting healthier was because I wanted to beat anorexia. I wanted to beat this terrible food phobia that I had. And I knew that by obviously going and performing stuff like bodybuilding, that bodybuilders were the best people in the world who could get their body to look the way that they wanted to and be comfortable with it. And they ate a shed load of food. Yeah. And being fit and having that positive mindset is very, very empowering. Now, I've always said, and I always will continue to say it, I will never say that I am a recovered anorexic, because I will always have those thoughts. Everybody always does. You can never be a reformed anorexic or you know, somebody who used to have an eating disorder. It just doesn't work. You know, you're always going to have dark days. And I do have those dark days, but I'll also have days where I really enjoy my food, and I'll go and smash out a good bench session like we did the other week. We went out and had like one of the biggest burgers I've ever seen in my life, which was freaking epic. And we had a pudding each and shared another one as well, because, you know, it'd be rude to just
after I realised whose was whose.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So Luke had like this complete and utter brain fart. He couldn't do anything. It's like the whole.
I was tired. Listening to you all day.
It was hilarious, but that was my why, and my why was extremely strong, and it was the fact that it was like, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to be. So it is about finding your why and then really pushing yourself to the nth degree to reach that why and keeping that why very strong.
Yes.
And I think that leads us nicely into the next subject of pushing yourself to the nth degree. How hard are you training? Can you overtrain? And what's all this stuff about completely destroying your CNS?
It's an interesting one, and I think it's a debate that everyone will have a slight different opinion on, because at the end of the day, everyone's different. Sure. I think there's some valid points you can take away from everyone. I think if, you know, the reason why we train, especially in the gym, is because we want to promote muscle protein synthesis. It's basically your body's use of amino acids to recover and build muscle. Now, for those who are helped, shall we say, that tends to be elevated for a lot longer, so they can get away with training the body parts less frequently because the muscle's still going to build and recover for a longer period of time. Those who are doing it on the non-specific route, shall we say, or the natural route, we got to look at the fact that our body only has a certain window. Oh.
Hi, Vicky.
The wife interruption. I forgot to put the sign on the door.
Just giving you
no, I'm going to get shit for that, aren't I?
Luke and Kim. No, carry on.
Yes. So we've only got a certain amount of time that we can utilize that muscle protein synthesis. So we need to increase the frequency of it because we're not going to have the duration of it. So that basically means we need to start training the muscle more often. Now you'll hear people say, or say you do chest day and you do 16 sets on chest day. It'd be better if you did 8 sets on Monday, then maybe 8 sets on a Thursday or Friday, utilizing different, and that's semi-valid, because you are training the muscle twice a week. And then what you can then start doing is increase the number of sets that you're doing, or the number of exercises, just to start building up that volume. Now, most people say, well, let's just stop there because train twice a week. Well, that's double what I'm doing. But yeah, that's fine. But if you're a swimmer and you want to become a really good swimmer, would you go in the pool twice a week?
There you go, every day.
No. Some of the biggest legs are on rugby players. Okay. Now they squat, having come from this background, they would squat probably even during in season, squat a couple of times a week. And then they'd be on the scrum machine, they'd be tackling, they'd be doing line-out jumping, they'd be sprinting, they'd be doing hill split. So their legs are constantly under attack, so to speak. But do they have twiglet legs? No. So what we need to start addressing. Oh my God!
Really? If anybody can't actually see this on the YouTube videos and they're just listening to it on iTunes, Luke is literally running around and he's literally showing off these players' legs to prove a point. That's so funny.
That could have been tied a better, see?
Brilliant.
Isometric quad tension and a sprint.
You forgot your frog jumps. There it is.
There it is. Yeah, that's my tricep.
Oh, I love it. Right, carry on. Rugby players are doing this, and we've got to take into consideration. That's your cue.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said rugby players are doing this.
Yeah, so exactly. So we've got to take into consideration that your body can adapt to more and more stimulus. So if you have obviously then you have to take into account that if I've got my chest training, how's that going to affect my shoulders and triceps, because they're obviously going to involve in pressing and stuff like that. But for example, I know if I was going to do some sort of bodybuilding competition maybe further down the line, I've got quite genetically wide hips because I'm a bit like a fridge. So I know that I need to make sure my back's wide enough to try and hide that. So I'm actually training my back 3 times a week because I know that I need to improve it.
Yep.
So people say, well, I only train my back once. But I'm training my back 150 times a year now, not 50.
Yeah.
Who's going to make more gains? Yes, I'm doing it more intelligently than probably other people and just making sure I hit a certain amount of reps and sets and overall volume that I want to achieve, because I know that's going to stimulate and not completely annihilate. But for example, my hamstrings I think also need work. I'm going to try and hit them twice a week because I know any more than that I'm just not going to get recovery.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing that you've got to really consider, as well as your recovery time and the fact that you're going to be fueling that recovery. Because a lot of people now, we had it recently, didn't we, where somebody was basically saying that their posterior chain needs a lot more work. So what can they do to grow their glutes and what can they do to grow their hamstrings? But they're already in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
So the fact is, it's going to be very, very difficult to do that. So by fueling yourself nutritionally as well, I mean, you're on a lot of calories, aren't you, now at the minute, Luke? And you're still
3,100-ish, to give or take. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But again, putting that contextually, you are like 6'4" and built like a fridge.
Yeah.
So you are fueling yourself for those sessions, and you are refueling in order to recover properly. So everything does come hand in hand. It's not just something as simple as, train this many times, do it this frequently, and then just kind of eat intuitively, because that's the reason why people stay the same.
And that's 100%. Yes, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
So, and like I said in a little Instagram story, I had that almost Neanderthalic approach to diet when I was younger, just because I was naturally big and I could probably sort of get away with it anyway, to an extent, that you can out-train a bad nutritional program. But actually, if I had my time again, if I could go back and when I was playing high-level rugby, that would be the first thing I would look at, and I'd say to my younger self, that would be a really good podcast, actually. What would we say if we could go back in time? But that would be one of the things I would say is get your nutrition sorted out, because it's going to help your performance. It's going to help you train better. And it's going to help you train more regularly, which in the long run is going to increase your output and your gains.
Definitely. I really like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's it. And so with the training, I sort of wrote a little sort of 5 things about it. Sort of volume manipulation, intensity manipulation, frequency manipulation, recovery, and obviously and the consistency of it. And obviously that's all underpinned by your sleeping habits, your nutrition, and just monitoring your hormone levels as well, because they obviously play a big play, and they can obviously be manipulated by nutrition and how you train as well. Because a lot of people, I know you've gone about arms day, and arms day, it's always a bit of a hot topic of debate. I tend not to do arms day because it bores the shit out of me.
Oh, doesn't it so much?
How can people spend an hour doing arms? I don't know. But on the flip side, the people who do an hour tend to have quite good arm development.
Yeah, funny, right?
Better. I know a few guys in the gym, they got shit legs, they've got shit lats, but I'm looking at their arms and going, bastard.
They've got some good arms.
But that's priority training, isn't it? It's like they're probably doing chest, triceps, back biceps, arms, something like that, with shoulders and arms. So they're hitting it 3 to 4 times a week. So in a roundabout way, they're actually increasing their frequency of these muscle groups. But what they're doing is just developing their strong muscle groups.
Yeah.
Whereas if they actually applied that train of thought to the weaker areas,
big legs as well.
Yeah, legs. So I can't remember who it was, but it's a famous Olympic weightlifting coach in America. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head, but he said, if you had to squat 100 pounds more than your PR in 6 months' time, or someone would come round and really kill your family.
Yeah.
How often would you squat to get that extra 100 pounds?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be once a week.
Exactly, right?
You'd be busting a bollock. That's twice I've said that now. Must be my favourite phrase at the moment.
Yeah.
You'd be busting a bollock to squat as many times as you could to get your body conditioned. It's like if I said, right, Vicky, run 10k in 40 minutes. You'd be out there running your bollocks off.
Running my bollocks off, exactly. I don't run though, so doesn't happen.
Science is a wonderful thing, and I keep reading up on the latest information on training, but just be aware that at the end of the day, the harder you work at something, or the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. And I think that's probably one of the it's like everything. It's like business. It's like training for other sports. The more effort you put in, the more you're going to put out. And it's the same with powerlifting and training and bodybuilding, I believe.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with our coaching, isn't it? We put in so much effort into our athletes.
Yeah.
And look at them. They go from strength to strength to got
Pretty mediocre.
yeah, is that right? But yeah, you know, yeah, but we do, you know, we put in the effort, and the fact is that we're constantly on our phones. I mean, when we had that burger out on Tuesday and we picked up our phones afterwards, we were literally 90 minutes having a little bit more of a social life, and within 90 minutes our phones were backed up with everybody's queries, but we still got back to them that same night. And that is the kind of level of coaching that you should be putting in if you want your athletes to do very well. And we've now got world-class athletes, and
exactly.
you know, it's this is how it works, and we're very passionate about it. So dedication into everything that you do, and you will get more passion and more dedication out of it at the same time, and the results that you really, really want. So perfect. Well, I think that kind of wraps everything up, because I know that you've got daddy daycare duties in a little while as
I have, I remembered. God, I forgot about that.
So that's it from the Exclusive Titan team today on Don't Fear the Weight. Oosh. Make sure that you tag us, take the picture, tag us, put it on Instagram, share it around. And guys, if you've got any subjects that you want myself and Luke to discuss on the next episode, then please obviously put them in the comments section below, or send us a DM, because we do obviously enjoy receiving them. All right, guys. So
no, we don't. We have too many already. Stop.
We like. Funny. Right. See you later, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.